Hey, this is Lori Noah, owner of Sophisticated Spy Shop on Etsy.com, owner of Gloria's Unsolved Mysteries Oracle Deck, Volume 1 through 40, and owner of Gloria's Astrology Tarot on www.makeplayingcards.com. All done by myself. Like I said, this is a sample of my cards. We will get to reading them later on. I haven't done them in a while, but we will get to reading them later on. Thank you. Shout out to makeplayingcards.com for making my dream come true. And we will get into that later. Like I said, you can use the cardinal sheets for the gypsy plan, for the fortune teller gypsy plan, which on my cards, however you want to do it. But like I said, of course, you're going to promote yourself as well as others. So, shout out to Gypsy Fortune Teller Tarot. So like I said, we have our messenger. And it says communications. A young woman casting out from her balcony, holding a scroll between his paws. The bird flies into the sky with great speed and his eyes firmly set upon his destination. In our modern age, we receive many messages throughout our day. We no longer rely on just the mail carrier to deliver letters and documents, since we now have an array of electronic means for sending and receiving information. If you have drawn this card, it will seem that a message is headed in your direction. Is this information or confirmation you have been waiting on, or will it be complete surprise, as well as a personal greeting, letters, and general correspondence? The card also suggests contracts and much awaited test results. Although our messages can predict mail arriving on your doorstep, it can also encourage you to put pen into paper, so to speak. Have you got forms that need filling out and sending, or might a loved one appreciate a card or some kind of contract? A message can make their day. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with seeking to the spirit guides and getting as many messages as you can, because they are out there for you. Not to run over, not to kill, not to sacrifice. They have all the messages that you need. But if you choose not to seek, then that's on you. If you're a true native Indian, then you know you can't go or do anything without respecting the ancestors and respecting the animals. So you probably won't be a hierarchy, because y'all ain't killed everybody. Or the animals. Sacrificing law. So I don't know what to tell y'all. You have Valor, and she looked like she in reverse. Okay, so that would be probably a dark priestess. And shout out to Stokes Gothic Oracle for this deck. I really appreciate it. It is very beautiful, as I said before. And it says, Valor battle. A confident woman dressed in armor and holding onto a sword looks piercingly into her eyes. You might think that she is an angel at first, but noticing the icy cool dragon perched on her shoulders, with his wings spread. In front of a red stained glass window, the light reflecting on her sword resembles blood. This card suggests that battle is necessary or inevitable. There will be circumstances when we are called into conflict and must consider the best method of response. In some situations, choosing not to respond or enter into combat is the best course of action. But this card remains, as there will be times when it's vital for you to stand your ground and to fight. The appearance of this card can signify that there is tension in the air. Coils and other kinds of non-physical warfare could be headed your way. So donning your own armor, ready for counterattack, could be your best and only option. Unfortunately, we all fall prey to criticisms and condemnation from others. The Lord reminds us that there are some disputes we simply cannot walk away from. Okay, and she is reversed, and she looks like she out here. Because I like to read it after. I read the regular meetings, but I like to read how I feel the cards are set up. So yes, we gotta put our own little T on the cards. That's every real spiritualist. Then we have enchantment, and that's in reverse. The Lord is in reverse. So I like to keep them how they was when they came out. Then you have the truth. And you have somebody forever yours is in reverse. And then, of course, let me see. We're going to shuffle. Then we have the Turn of Bond, and we have Light in the Darkness. Cards flipped out, excuse me, everybody. Then we have the Moonstruck, Black Unicorn. Then we have Immortal Fight. So yeah, it looks like they got a lot to love. Like, okay. I like to read the cards. I like to read them, but I also like to give y'all the regular definition. So cars, spiritualists usually put their own spin on it, so don't get offended. They'll be like, oh, that's not what it says, because I read you what it says, and then I tell you how I feel, what I'm saying, when I feel when picking up on the cards. So, then we have enchantment. And it says commitment. A fairy walks a path towards us, stopping within a circle of mushrooms. Holding a goblet, she asks if we would like to take a sip of the forest wine. Fairy rings are naturally occurring circles of mushrooms that can be found in the countryside. As the name suggests, that we have been long associated with pixies and fairies in many English and Celtic tales. It is said that the rings appear where elves have danced, or that a fairy village lays underground. Many believe that to stand within a fairy ring can bring great enchantment and luck. However, since some advise against this, doing this so requires great commitment. If you have drawn this card, then you are being asked to think about how committed you are to something or someone. Are you all in or are you all out? Commitment comes with responsibility and must not be taken lightly. Are you about to sign a contract, enter into a partnership? Are you considering taking a relationship to a new level? If so, make sure that you are aware of what your commitment will entail. While enchantment may very well be the reward, it may be very difficult to step out of the fairy ring than it was to step in. Excuse me, I like to use my chakra stick to figure out my chakras, because like I said, I've been in front of this fan for a little bit. And like I said, I woke up late last night and I got in late, so bear with me, everybody. And then we have the truth. It says the truth, honesty. A woman crouches within the wings of a dragon and confidently offers you a sword. A flash of light reflects off its blade. The weapon is a symbol of truth. Looking into your eyes, she asks that you consider what is true and what is not. This card of honesty sometimes requires you to be honest with others, but it will always encourage you to be honest with yourself. There will be occasions when this is easier said than done. We have all experienced denial in one another. The truth card suggests that you contemplate what you truly know to be real in a situation. This can lead to an inner conflict, since the truth can sometimes be ugly or hurtful. But authenticity and sincerity can only even ever be the real winner. If you have drawn this card, then you know what you must do. This is not a time for avoidance, since spariness is paramount in some readings. The truth will become revealed from an external source and will need to be accepted. However, in other consultations with the cards, you are being motivated to speak up about what you consider to be a moral right or fair. So like I said, I'm going to tell you what I feel about the cards, because you always get the real definition, because when people get them, they'll be like, oh, that wasn't what it said, but I'll tell you what it said, and I'll tell you how I feel about it. Because of course I'm a spiritualist, I'm the prophet, I'm the star seed, I'm the earth angel, already confirmed by the government, so let's get it, everybody. Forever yours, love. A beautiful young woman stands before a fireplace with her eyes closed. She joins hands with the ghostly figure, the spirit of her lost love, whose portrait can be seen behind her, decorated by candles and deep magnetic flowers. True love never dies, while the image shows a love that has been lost to the physical world. This card concerns the strong romantic relationships in life that are never ending, those that are beyond the physical and rooted within the heart. If you have drawn this card, you are being made aware of love that is honest and true. The dashing phantom of this card is representative of intimacy and everlasting devotion. In a reading pertaining to emotional relationships, this is a sign of a bond that is steady, fast, and reliable, but also tender and warm. It will bode well for new relationships and can predict the deepening of a romance and perhaps even marriage. When this card arrives during relationship difficulties, it asks you to consider how deep your love truly is and to be honest in your answer. The love depicted in this card can weather any storm, but it requires the commitment and faith of both partners to do so. Ooh, yes, it does. It requires the commitment of faith of both partners to do so. Y'all get it, everybody? So if you got a twin flame, it got to be both partners. It can't just be one. So, okay, I'm pushing my husband to the positive side, not the negative. So I'm good on that. Then you have, because that's the spirit, of course, still want to fight over my husband. Sorry, my husband. Like I said, he is a hot topic. Okay, so we'll just leave it at that, because we know everybody want that, okay? We know, I know, my baby hot, he's sexy, he the show shot shit, that is true, but he gotta straighten up some of his ways to be a better man for his children, so. Then we have eternal bond, unconditional love. Two unicorns stand beneath the night sky. The tips of their horns light a pool of water, and the curious fowl tests the water with his hoof, watching the youngster every move. The mare stands over him protectively. A shooting star can be seen in the distance. To love unconditionally is to expect nothing in return. The mare in this card wants only for her fowl to be healthy, safe, and happy. It is natural for most parents to feel this way about a child, but it is not only biological mothers and fathers who experience compassion or offer their love freely in this kind of way. We are all capable of loving without limits. If you have drawn this card, then you might be a recipient of unconditional care, perhaps from a parent, partner, or friend. If so, then it will confirm their feelings. However, eternal bond will sometimes arise when relationships are being tested too. It is often important to remember how much you love someone when things are not going as planned, as well as when all is filled with joy. While this card does not suggest staying within a relationship that is making you unhappy, it suggests that you don't give up at the first sight of trouble. As a sign of your reading, it might simply be advised that you remember why this person is in your life, and how much you love them despite your current differences. Okay? Never give up on my husband, okay? Where we do that at? They be so upset. They be like, because it be so funny, because I ain't gonna lie, people throw them away, gave them away, threw them in the trash, I picked them up, dusting them off, and then everybody's like, oh, he mine. I'm like, no, that's mine. Anyway, so I set the light, then we have the light of the darkness, and it's called clarity, because, the light workers, we bring the light to the darkness. It says, holding out her hand, a shrouded figure suspends a necklace before our eyes. The light of a pinnacle brightens the dark room, showing every crack within the bricker and the delicate silver wedge. What we could not see before is now illuminated. This card cuts through the darkness and helps you to see clearly during times of worry or fear. It can highlight a positive sign that is headed your way, or a snippet of new information that will allow for better understanding of a situation that has been confused to you. If you have drawn this card, it might be a time to still your mind and kept alert. Clarity or understanding could be within your grasp if you only open your eyes and ears. The words of a friend, the line of a song, or a seemingly random message from an unexpected source can provide the answer that you have been looking for. Clarity shines a light into the darker rooms of the existence that are filled with uncertainty. When this card arrives in your readings, know that the situation you asked about will soon become more comprehensible. Okay? Light in the darkness, honey. When you a light worker, ain't nobody telling you nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Let's see, Moonstone Healing. It says, a dragon and her passenger descends from the moon. In her mistress' left hand is a glowing moonstone. In her right is a staff. A moonstone is a creamy colored crystal tinted with a yellow, known for its feminine qualities such as intuition, positivity, and enhancing of psychic abilities, and also associated with healing. If this card has guided into your reading, the healing may be either available or necessary. We do not always realize when it is needed, but this card could be advised you to think about those areas of your life that are causing pain. This distress could be recent or may concern older experiences that have been avoided thus far. Making the decision to heal is not one we should take lightly. It is something that requires participation, courage, and commitment. While some of us might enlist the help of a professional such as a counselor or a doctor, just become aware of your wounds and how they still affect us can be the first step towards recovery and healing. What is still causing your distress? How might you begin to release yourself from these memories or emotions in a healthy way? Okay, then we have Black Unicorn. Because I'm going to tell you how I feel after. Because, the spirit got something to say. Because, they didn't win, as usual. Same thing every day. I'm going to get a job, but, she likes to stand behind me and talk about how she should have won and how she was close. We gonna give her some chocolate healing back there. Because she don't understand. It ain't about you. It's about the greater good in the universe. And it says Black Unicorn, Independence. A dynamic unicorn rears up on his hind legs, majestic and high above the world. He commands respect from all those who seize him. Black unicorns are less familiar than white ones, but they do not have their own place in mythology. Known as a symbol of freedom, their character is not the same as that of their white cousins. With greater strength and hunting prowess, the black unicorn is a creature of fierce independence and sometimes rebellion. Occasionally, we need to stand on our own 2 feet. When this card appears in a reading, it suggests that now it is the time to rely on others, but to stand confidently in your own beliefs and take charge of your own life. This card is in many ways a symbol of choice, since it is in our own decisions that we exercise our power in independent thinking. Whether you choose to be self-sufficient and decide to go at it alone, make a stand, potentially pushing against the flow, doing so would command respect from others and put you in a league of your own. Amen to that, okay? Then we have immortal flight, okay? We loving that immortality and they hating. It's good. Don't trip. Don't trip. Don't trip, chicken strip. Get you some dip. French I prefer. Maybe some honey mustard, okay? Let me see. We have immortal flight. And it says, deception. A fairy sits beside a pool bathed in blue. She reaches out to the water and illuminates the skeleton beneath the surface. Calm and composed, you might think that she has good intentions, but nothing could be further from the truth. The faint image of the skull can be glimpsed in her wings. If you look carefully, this fairy is deadly. She is a symbol of both things, the seen and unseen. We can view only what she cares to show us. Her true intentions might be hidden. The skull, unrecognizable at first, represents what lies beneath. The motives of someone in your environment could be under question. Is a friend or colleague telling you something quite different from what they truly believe? Does your intuition suggest that you do not trust the situation? If this card occurs into your reading, it could be a warning that deception is near or that someone is hiding something from you. This is time to do a little research before making any big commitments. When in shadow, immortality flight can describe the unfaithful, the dishonest, and those intending to compromise or mislead you. Okay, now, well, we fit this zero on this. So let's see. I see we got somebody that don't believe the messages out here. They don't believe the hype. See what I'm saying? We got somebody who sit here and be like, you know what? I ain't getting no messages, so I know she ain't getting no messages. So it's somebody that, you know, they upset because, you know, like I said, when the universe is calling, they didn't get that message. So they upset. And it's not my fault. Because like I said, obviously the universe is picking what was for the greater good and what was for the best interest of my husband. So I have no control over that. People would say, oh, well, what do you mean he's your husband? He's my spiritual husband. The universe put us together. You know when I stole him from over there? Well, you gotta steal your man back, okay? .com. But she didn't get the message when I told her what universe was calling. She didn't get the message. You know, now she want to come over here and be cloaked and uncloaked, scraping and scratching and fighting and screaming. Mad because I'm enchanted. And the spirit's like, okay, we gonna give her some more spiritual protection because they crazy. Because she out here telling the truth. And they mad because me and him got this forever love, so they trying to put it in reverse. It's cool, because I'll let you know, collective. I ain't no dummy. You know? Because we got to turn a bond. And I'm a light worker. And you can ride the wave. Nah. Whoever this is trying to do magic in the middle of the night. Yes, this person is doing it with him. Against me. And pretending like they ain't. But this is why that person didn't win. Because they showed they left hand what their right hand was doing. And then you have somebody out here, he's like, look at my girl. He always say that. Because I always stand out and it makes people upset. And most people don't accept me. That's why it's upside down. But I still stand out. Because I got that what? Immortality. So thank you, KCPD with your dumb ass. For what? Giving me more powers than I had. Because y'all retarded. Because you shouldn't bother me. But I appreciate it though. God said thank you. He knew you was going to do that. Appreciate that. And y'all have a blessed one because immortality is real. And so is the jealousy. Have a blessed day.